Welcome to Sirius Sessions, live performances recorded at the Sirius Studios in New York City. Sessions from artists in every genre, ranging from rock to hip-hop, metal to country, alternative rock to jam bands. From up-and-coming unsigned bands to the top stars in music past and present. Hear uncut, uncompromised live performances exclusively on Sirius Coast to Coast. Sirius Sessions. It's on.
Jerry Rubino here at the Sirius National Broadcast Studios in the heart of New York City. Assembled in Studio B today with a band not only making their first appearance here, but doing something which I don't know if they've done this too often. That's playing acoustically and intimately like they are here today for us at Sirius on the radio. In front of me, Andy Bell, Vincent Clark, and joined by Steve Walsh today. May I introduce Erasure. Welcome.
Yes, hello.
And as you can hear, we have a nice audience to take this in today and enjoy what I feel and I know, as a matter of fact, is going to be a great session with us today. Erasure are back with a new album on Mute Records called Other People's Songs, and well, the title gives it away. So we really don't have to ask too much about the title. But the album is an album of covers, and today we'll talk about the ideas behind the making of and just the basic ideas of the record itself, and basically catch up with Andy and Vincent as well. Now, before we dig into the acoustic set that you've got prepared for the audience, let's quickly go back to the beginning of Erasure. Now, Vincent, as we know, was a founding member of Depeche Mode, leaving after the debut album, Speak and Spell, then teamed up with Alison Moyet to form Yazoo. Had a few other projects as well, like The Assembly, worked with Orange Juice member Paul Quinn. Did I miss anything, Vincent? Was there anything else in there?
That's about it. Sugar Funky. Yeah.
Okay. And quickly, Vincent, why did you leave Depeche Mode at a time when when you were the chief songwriter and Depeche were being tapped for bigger and better things?
I don't know. I think we just got fed up with each other.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. And we were touring quite a bit, and I wasn't really happy doing that.
See, that's something that obviously back then, now it would be a lot easier to hear and see things like that with the internet and people being able to talk to each other from England and the UK and just a couple of little taps on the keyboard. But back then, the word of that really didn't get around too quickly. You know, besides maybe an occasional smash hits writer, right up in the smash hits or an ME or something like that. But it was something that really wasn't, really broadly talked about, and that's why I wanted to bring it up because, as I said, and as we know, Depeche Mode went on to become, a pretty phenomenal band over the years, still doing it today, and for that to happen was certainly something. When something like that happens with a band, I don't think it's really ever happened where the chief songwriter of a band goes, and I guess fortunately for them, the band did continue on, but obviously you had other steps which you would tackle the next couple of years. Next up was Yazoo, which I refuse to call Yaz, even though I am an American. I will still to this day call him Yazoo. It was a natural move musically. 2 albums, both made a big splash, especially here in the U.S., where Situation and Don't Go still heard on radio and in the clubs pretty extensively. Take us from there, Vincent, and what led to the eventual teaming up with Andy Bell and the start of Erasure, and how did you attract him, and what made him the one?
Well, after Yazoo split, I kind of embarked on a few solo projects. Well, not solo, but working with different singers, and also with a particular studio engineer in London. And we were doing writing songs, getting different people to sing the songs, but it was becoming more and more impractical. So in the end, I decided to advertise for a singer for a kind of permanent position, and I put a music ad. An advertisement in the music paper.
Which one was that?
In the Melody Maker, and in the UK. And Andy came along to the auditions, sang a song, and we just formed the group from there.
How many vocals did you go through for auditions?
42.
42. Was he the 42nd one?
Yeah.
And that was it. You knew it was done.
Yes.
And what made him? What made you at the end of the day said Andy Bell is my man?
It was just vast amounts of money he gave us.
Andy, when you went into the auditions, did you go in and do some cover songs? Did you bring in your own material? How did you?
No, we did. We had to learn "Who Needs Love Like That" and "My Heart So Blue" from the Wonderland album, and I was completely over the moon to be meeting Mr. Clark here because I was a big fan.
I was going to say, obviously, you were very familiar with his previous work. Jerry Rubino here with Erasure at the Sirius National Broadcasting Studios. How about giving the listeners your first performance for today?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
emotion adrift, no word of a lie. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Pressed to your lips, we collide, slowly twist, ardent and light. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Seeps into the ground, kisses the earth, and I am found. Love's young dream could be alien, strange ways how it fly, tuning low like a radio, whispering goodbye. Hey, ooh, ah, oh, hey, ah. Just so it seems, softly potent, serene, vacant and shy. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. You are everywhere, under my skin and in my hair. Love's young dream could be alien, strange ways how we fly, tuning low like a radio, whispering goodbye. Hey, ooh, ah, oh, he, ah. Seeps into the ground, kisses the earth, and I am found. Love's young dream could be alien, strange ways how it fly, tuning low like a radio, whispering goodbye. Love's young dream could be alien. Love's young dream could so serene, so alien.
An Andy Bell, Vincent Clarke composition, Alien from Erasure live in the Sirius studios. Now that song is from your last studio album, Love Boat, which came out back in 2000. Wasn't released in the US. Why was that?
That was because Maverick didn't think that it was a viably commercial, good enough product for them.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
And where is Maverick today? Needless to say. Alrighty. But no, that's... but you must... I guess what's... a lot of people, a lot of bands and artists are, have got their reasons for, the obvious reasons for joining labels. You probably both got to meet Madonna then, I guess, right?
Yeah, we did.
That's got to be...
Yeah.
Anybody would at least want to say hello to the woman, right?
No, it was amazing. I mean, I'm not... I don't think I could ever meet her again, though.
No?
'Cause I completely screwed up and... was just a completely flailing fan in front of her, and not very cool, really.
But it happened. Yeah.
And usually she likes gay men. Right.
When did the idea start to do a covers album? And was it in fact originally going to be your solo record, Andy?
It kind of started off that way because I was thinking of doing like a whole Phil Spector songs album, because I was thinking. We haven't got Dusty Springfield anymore, or Freddie Mercury anymore, and I just wanted to do something like a Torch song kind of thing, and Started working with Gareth Jones, doing Who Needs Love Like That? You've Lost That Loving Feeling in his kitchen, and Do I Love You, a track by the Ronettes. And it was taking a long time because I don't know any musicians, I can't play chords. And then Vince came to see me in Spain and said, I think he thinks it's a really good idea, and let's do it together.
What you mentioned, you lost a loving feeling. What other songs were the basis for the record? What other early, at least your, Andy, your songs that you definitely wanted
definitely was the A Buddy Holly track. I didn't mind which. You've Lost That Loving Feeling and Walking in the Rain by the Ronettes.
That was a great
they were
choice.
musts. Yeah.
That was great. And you mentioned it was originally going to start as a artist that Phil Spector obviously produced. Was there ever an inkling in your mind to actually maybe try to get Phil at that time out of retirement to actually produce?
Well, I would have loved to do that. I mean, I did hear he was in England, like doing
New Star Seller record.
He's
doing the New Star Seller record.
Yeah.
And so he actually has come out of retirement. You could have brought him out of that retirement.
I don't know. I can't imagine really.
I wonder how he would have taken it though.
I don't
Somebody
know.
doing his old stuff.
I don't know.
Phil probably may have not have. Probably loves the idea, just doesn't want to be involved with it. Yeah. Vincent, when did you get involved in? When did this actually become an Erasure project? I mean, you Andy touched upon it a bit, but he said it was getting to a point. But when did you say, yeah, you know what? Let me get this involved. And what songs did you bring to the table for this record?
I think it was the spring of last year that we actually started working together. As Andy mentioned, we were working with another producer called Gareth Jones, and they'd done 2 songs, I think. So we kind of started immediately then. I've got a studio at home, Gareth's got a studio, Andy's got a studio set up. So we decided to actually make the record without the record company. We just thought we'd just make the thing and produce it and then present it to them at the end. And so, it didn't really take that long. I mean, we weren't in the studio that long. It took us a while to decide which songs to actually, that should be on the album, and the ones that we felt that weren't working.
What was your first choice that you wanted to do?
Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Was that your choice? I thought that was Gareth's choice.
Did you at least play around with that, or it just never made it?
Didn't even get that far.
Didn't even get that far, huh? How did each of you become aware of the American rock standard songs that you cover? I mean, you got Buddy Holly, the Walker Brothers, Righteous Brothers, Elvis Presley. All of us, we're all around the same age. So obviously we were like wee tiny kids and not even born in some of the cases with these songs when they were released. How, both of you in England at the time, right, growing up as kids, how did you become aware of these American artists and their songs?
It was my parents' record collection. I mean, they had loads of 50s singles, like the Kalin Twins and Frank Highfield, and loads of country and western music, Charlie Pride, Slim Whitman. And my mum was really into Elvis, and my dad was Buddy Holly. So just kind of having it around. I mean, they'd stopped listening to them because they'd bought them kind of in their teenage years and following on. And so you kind of like start going through it and thinking, seeing what you like and stuff, and then playing it, and then just kind of singing along to the records, really. I didn't know they were American. It was like...
Right, yeah. I guess, and the fact with myself and everybody else growing up, little did we know that a lot of the British artists were British. I mean, who knew the Beatles and Elton John were actually British when they sounded American? How did they do that? And they talk like this. What about you, Vincent? How did you become aware of the American artists from back in the late 50s and early 60s?
I don't know. I mean, I used to quite like rock and roll records. I mean, my mum she was a Teddy girl in the 50s, I suppose, so she used to drive about in the back of a motorbike. And, but, we didn't have like kind of a lot of music really when we was in our home, when we were growing up. It was, my father was into Frank Sinatra.
That was like my parents. I had to deal with the Frank Sinatras and Johnny Mathises.
Which I don't mind now.
Which isn't a bad thing. No, not at all.
I suppose my choices on the record were more contemporary ones, the Peter Gabriel songs and Steve Harley, and those were the records that I bought when I was a teenager.
Elvis Presley, the man who had 1 million songs, and you chose "Can't Help Falling in Love." Why that one? And what made it that one to be the choice?
Well, I think when you're a singer, you always kind of go for the ballads because you can show off more with them. But then we sang it as a ballad and then up-tempoed the music to the song. it's kind of half speed when you listen to it properly. There's the vocals half speed across the music. But there's so many of his songs that are really good. You know, I remember from Blue Hawaii or something, and there's one song about eat to eat what, eat or to eat what, eat or to eat, or something like that. And we'd also done Wooden Heart on a TV show in Germany, which I love. But this was just something new to do this song.
Yeah. Was In the Ghetto ever a choice?
Well, it was, but we kind of sort of ripped that off anyway with Hallowed Ground on the Innocence album.
Yeah, and actually, familiar with the Nick Cave version?
Oh, no, I don't know it.
Nick did a
Yeah.
great version of In the Ghetto. So Can't Help Falling in Love, which shows up on the new record, Other People's Songs by Erasure. How about giving it a go at that one?
Yeah.
One, two, 3.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you.
Yeah. The latest interpretation of that one, the Elvis Presley track, Can't Help Falling in Love. That was stellar. Thank you, Randy. And Vincent Clark here as well with me. I'm Jerry Rubino. Did this album turn out initially as you envisioned it to be as a solo album, Andy?
I think it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can never imagine how an album's going to turn out in the finish, you know. And I was quite. I played it and I was quite moved, and it sounds really like an Erasure album.
Mm.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Now, cover songs aren't new to your repertoire. You did the ABBA EP of covers of ABBA songs, which, as I mentioned, was an EP. This is a full album. Anything different between doing that record and what it became, and how you felt afterwards, and this one, besides the obvious fact that this is a full album and that was an EP?
I think when we did the ABBA thing, it was done more in more for a laugh, really. It was never really taken that seriously. It was done pretty quickly. I mean, I was living in Amsterdam at the time, and Andy came over, and I think Dave Bascom was working on that EP. And we did it in a kind of a weekend, really. But this album, we considered what songs we were going to do very carefully.
Did any songs not make the album that you recorded for it not make the record?
There's some demos. There's one Fade Away and Radiate by Blondie.
Yeah.
The Ballad of Lucy Jordan, Marian Faithfull, or Dot Hook. And what else?
Chains of Love,
yeah.
Really? Fade Away and Radiate, that would have been interesting too. Is that finished? Could that ever come out as a...
Well, it could do. I would quite like it to, but we didn't work on it enough. But I would love a kind of really hard kind of,
Yeah, that is that's a great choice. I mean, obviously, a lot of folks go for the obvious Blondie song, but to pick that one had to be great. Are there other songs that either of you are particularly fond of, all-time favorite songs that you didn't do for this session that you would have liked to have done, but said, you know what, I don't think we can better it?
I don't know, really. Can't think of anything, really. I mean, maybe, and I'm Telling You I'm Not Going by Jennifer Holliday. Because it's just too... You can't even go near it, that song.
Yeah. How about you, Vincent?
No, I've had enough of covers.
Yeah, he's finished.
I mean,
he's finished.
It was good fun to do, but I'm very keen that we start writing our own material again.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little while. I mean, obviously, I'm sure a lot of fans looking forward to a new full album. And here, as we mentioned before, with Love Boat not coming out in the U.S., the first one in quite some time for American audiences. I think right now is a good time as any to give the audience a special treat. How about an acoustic version of an Erasure classic? Would you mind doing one from the debut album, Wonderland?
Yep.
Just tune in.
And it's a drink break as well.
Yeah. Pardon me. L Amour broke my heart, and now I'm aching for you, mon amour. What's a boy in love supposed to do? Looking for you, you were looking for me, always reaching for you, you were too blind to see. Oh, love of my heart, why leave me alone? I'm falling apart, no good on my own. Oh, l'amour broke my heart, and now I'm aching for you, mon amour. What's a boy in love supposed to do? Why throw it away? Why walk out on me? I just live for the day, for the way it should be. There once was a time, had you here by my side. You said I wasn't your kind, only here for the ride. Oh, l'amour broke my heart, and now I'm aching for you, mon amour.
emotional ties. You don't remember my name. I lay down and die. I'm only to blame. Oh, love of my heart, it's up to you now. You tore me apart. I hurt inside out. Oh, L'amour broke my heart, and now I'm aching for you. Bon amour, what's a boy in love supposed to do? Oh, L'amour broke my heart, and now I'm aching for you. Mon amour, what's a boy in love supposed to do? Oh, L'amour.
Wow. That was amazing. I was telling everybody off mic before we started that I'd heard you earlier on rehearsing that, and I just had to walk out of the studio because thought I was going to start to cry. How great that sounded! That, of course, happy tears that would have been, of course. All the more acoustically, and I don't know about everybody else, but I was sitting here and I had the keyboard parts going like that's where the doo-doo-doo comes in. Obviously not the version that I was slinging in the clubs all those years, twice a night between 85 and 91. But wow, what a great version of that. L Amour. I'm Joey Rubino with Erasure here today. Vincent Clark, Andy Bell, and Steve Walsh joining them on guitar. He was the one doing the leads on that one, which normally you would have heard the keyboard doing that part.
He's the clever guitarist. He can play.
Erasure have a new album out called Other People's Songs, the first in the U.S., which is mute outright, right? Because you've had the Elektra tie-in, Sire, Maverick, and now this one straight out on Mute Records. Let's talk a little bit about the album's first single, a cover of Peter Gabriel's Solsbury Hill, which is from his 1977 debut album, the first of 17, I think, that he called Peter Gabriel. No, actually, it was just 3 of them, I believe, his first 3. Whose idea was it to do this one?
That was my idea. It was a record I bought when I was 17.
Yes, exactly. I did the same thing.
Yeah, when I was 17. I love the song, and it was kind of unusual, really, because it was a strange time signature, even though we didn't do the strange time signature. And I just thought it was a really inspirational, powerful, emotive song. And I thought it'd be interesting for us to cover. It's not kind of an obvious song to do.
Both you Peter Gabriel fans, in general?
I didn't know anything about Peter Gabriel's history, really, because I wasn't really into Genesis or anything. Right. I saw a thing on TV.
He was the strange one that wore the big mask.
I know. I was like, way to go, Peter, when I saw it, and and it's a good song.
Yeah, definitely a cover of Solsbury Hill. And congrats too. This one debuted, I believe, number 10, top 10 in the UK. Your first top 10, if I'm not mistaken, if my chart info is right, since Run to the Sun in 1994. Debuted at number 10 in the UK. Probably. And your 16th top 10 overall in the homeland. How about tackling Solsbury Hill for us and the listeners?
Okay, wish us luck.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Climbing up on Solsbury Hill, I could see the city lights. Wind was blowing, time stood still. Eagle flew out of the night. He was something to observe. Came in close, I heard a voice, standing, stretching every nerve. Had to listen, had no choice. I did not believe the information, just had to trust imagination. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I've come to take you home. To keep in silence I resigned. My friends would think I was a nut, turning water into wine. Open doors would soon be shut. And so I went from day to day, though my life was in a rut, till I thought of what I'd say, which connection I should cut. I was feeling part of the scenery. I walked right out of the machinery, my heart going boom, boom, boom. Hey, he said, grab your things, I've come to take you home. When illusion spins her nets, I'm never where I wanna be. Liberty, she pirouettes when I think that I am free. Watched by empty silhouettes who close their eyes but still can see. No one taught them etiquettes. I will show another me. Today I don't need a replacement. I'll tell them what the smile on my face meant. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Hey, I said, you can keep my things, you've come to take me home. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I gotta hire these guys for my next poolside barbecue. Just sit around and sing that one. That sounded great. Erasure and their rendition acoustically of Solsbury Hill, a track that appears on their new album, Other People's Songs, out now on Mute Records. Has Peter heard that version yet?
He hasn't. I don't know if he's heard it or not. He might have. He might have heard it on Radio 2 or Radio 3. Mm-hmm. He did send us the sheet music for it.
Okay, cool. You know, Vincent, you were mentioning, we were talking about the choice of that song before we did it, and the year that came out in 1977. Obviously, the sound of that Peter Gabriel record and where he came from, the whole progressive rock thing, was a reason why a lot of the music that year started. Were you a fan of the your Clash, your Sex Pistols, your Jam, and the whole punk movement?
Not really. I mean, I like some of those bands, and I did see a few of those bands, when I was a teenager. But it wasn't really until you had, your Human Leagues and your OMDs that I got really excited about music. I mean, before that, I was kind of listening to folk music, or to, people like Simon and Garfunkel. They were a big influence on me.
Yeah, interesting. What do the two of you do, hobby-wise, outside of music, in your spare time? Andy?
What now? I don't do anything.
No?
No, I'm a couch potato. I watch loads and loads of telly, go to the gym twice a week. Go out for a drink sometimes, catch a drag show.
Catch a drag show.
That's about it. It's true. It's true. Like you do,
Yeah. What about you, Vincent?
Well, actually, I've been spending more and more time in New York, actually. So, I just started ballroom dance classes.
Really? That's interesting. Great. Yeah. That's nice. Cool.
He's got a map in his back pocket.
When was the first time you were in New York City? Was it the first Depeche tour, or were you here before that?
No, actually, I was here with Alison.
Oh, okay.
We played
Paradise Garage. You played, wasn't it?
Paradise Garage.
Saint nightclub.
Yeah, and we did the 2 nights here. We just flew in and flew out. That was the first time.
Yeah.
It was very, very scary, I remember.
Yeah.
I really was frightened,
Really?
It was, it was kind of the time when, you couldn't walk in Central Park in the day, let alone the night.
I'm told you still can't, but I guess you can.
It's pretty good now.
Yeah, no, it's actually good. So what year was that?
Oh, don't ask me.
Okay.
Ask the record company.
So with that, that was a Yazoo tour.
Well, it wasn't a tour. It was just like a showcase.
Showcase
I suppose, in
dates.
New York. Yeah. That's all we did. Then we went home.
So that's bringing back my memory. Then when I did see Depeche at the Ritz, then for the Speak and Spell tour, you were not on that tour.
No.
No.
I didn't come to New
Didn't
York.
do a New York tour
No.
with them. Okay. Because I was trying to remember just the other day, who actually, because it was a fog back then. It was 19.
It was a bit of a scam actually, because what happened was we just signed to Sire Records.
Mm-hmm.
Or Depeche did,
Right.
and then but we all knew that we were. I was going to leave.
You naughty boy.
So that's why they continued. That's why I presume the tour was called the Speak and Spell tour. Even though I wasn't in it.
Was that why? Maybe that was why they had the reel-to-reel machine on stage that Dave kept resetting after every song.
Well, we had
your
that,
parts.
Yeah, we had always had a reel-to-reel or a drum machine when we first started. Because obviously we didn't have a drummer. So.
Yeah, which I thought was, back in the fog that it was so long ago, and who knows what kind of state of mind I was in that night. But I vividly remember after each song, Dave going back and setting the reel up, hitting play, and then coming back. But so you reminded me. I did not know that you weren't on that tour. I've heard that a film called Merchants of Venus, or something called maybe A Dirty Little Business, where Andy, you act in it, and Vincent, you do the soundtrack to this. What's this? Has it been released? It's been found? It's been resurrected? What's the story with this?
It went straight to video, and you can get it at Oddbins off license in the bargain bit.
And when was this done?
It was done about 5 years ago, and I paid my own airfare to go over to Los Angeles to be in it, and I got there, and it was at a porno studio, and they'd forgotten that I was there, so I had to put my hand up and say, "Can I do my bit now, please?" Because I've been there all day. And then all I had to do was hold a clipboard, pretend I was a porno director, and watch some guy's balls going up and down on top of a naked lady on the pool table. And that was my acting
Oh, the
debut.
famous pool table scene.
Yeah.
So it's an actual porn movie, or
It's not a porn movie. It's supposed to be about the porn industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But they cross, though, don't they?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. and Vincent, you did the music, or
Yeah, I did the soundtrack for it. For My Sins. Yeah.
and is that the
That's
only
how
one?
we got. That's how we got the part. You see. They said to me, if I do the music,
Yeah.
then you'll get a part on the
Yeah.
film.
Especially, what's really good is Dance of the Marching Dildos.
And so now, is the soundtrack available anywhere, or is it
I
out?
really hope not.
Really now, huh? And you do an Erasure song in there as well, right? We do a
there's
song at the end.
Yeah, there was a song from Cowboy called Love Affair. Yeah.
And this is a totally different version than the album. So okay, so scour the what was the web address again?
Never mind.
Okay. we'll play this back continually and let people know. So, Andy Bell, Vincent Clark, and joining them today for this exclusive Sirius session here at Sirius, Steve Walsh. It's Erasure. I'm Jerry Rubino. How about another Erasure original that fared quite well for you in 1989? Reached number 14 on the singles charts here in the U.S. and like many of your songs, got banged in the dance clubs, not only in the U.S. but all over the world. How about a little respect?
Just tuning up.
Don't really need the words, do I? I don't really need the words, do I? To this
I need the chords.
We've been safe so far.
Yep.
Stop smoking as well over there.
Yeah, put that cigarette out, you.
One, two, 3.
I try to discover a little something to make me sweeter. Oh baby, refrain from breaking my heart. I'm so in love with you, I'll be forever blue. That you give me no reason, you know you're making me work so hard. That you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no soul. I hear you calling, oh baby, please give a little respect to me. And if I should falter, would you open your arms out to me? We can make love, not war, and live with peace in our hearts. I'm so in love with you, I'll be forever blue. What religion or reason could drive a man to forsake his lover? Don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no, don't you tell me no soul. I hear you calling, oh baby, please give a little respect to me. I'm so in love with you, I'll be forever blue. That you give me no reason, you know you're making me work so hard. That you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no, that you give me no soul. I hear you calling, oh baby, please give a little respect to soul. Hear you calling, baby, please give a little respect to me.
Erasure here in the Sirius studios today, giving us, all of us here and their fans listening, a very exclusive acoustic performance. That, of course, a little respect done acoustically. Again, stellar job. The new album is out now, called Other People's Songs on Mute Records, an album made up entirely of cover songs that we've been discussing here today with Vincent and Andy. One of the things I like about this record is choosing a few songs that were either quiet hits in the U.S., Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime by the Corgis, which I didn't know was a top 15 record here in the U.S., so that's how quiet it was. And the UK hit by Cockney Rebel, Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me Sometime, which I've always loved that song. Never made an impact over here. And Duran Duran actually covered that. I don't know if you knew that. They covered on one. It was a B-side of one of their singles in their Rio era.
Really?
Believe it or not, yes.
Coming off the album, and that's it. Jesus.
Just thought I'd let you know. But the versions here, choices of both Vincent and Andy. Whose choices were these and why? These two particular songs that I mentioned, the Corgi song and the Cockney Rebel song.
Sorry. Yeah, they were both my choices, actually.
Yeah. What particular reason?
Well, the Corgi song in particular, because it's such a beautiful melody. It's such a simple, romantic song. It's got one verse, one chorus, and a beautiful hook in the chorus. Just think it's fantastic. Pretty perfect.
Yeah. Now, were they a big pop hit sensation over in the UK?
Not really. No. They were kind of a two-hit wonder band, I think. I believe that the keyboard player or one of the players is playing for one of the Mute bands, another band that's signed to Mute. Don't ask me. That's what I heard. So one of the guys is still around. But yeah, they just did two singles that were successful in the UK.
Yeah. And the Cockney Rebel track, Steve Harley?
I just think it's a really exciting track, you know.
Yeah.
I love the big pause in it, the big space of nothing. When you're waiting and trying to anticipate, the next verse. That's very exciting.
Yeah. 2 tracks that appear on the Erasure covers record, other people's songs. I hate calling them covers records, but I guess you gotta.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Now, what about Video Killed the Radio Star? The song which was originally done, I'm trying to remember whose came out first, because Bruce Woolley is one of the co-writers, and it was on one of his solo records. He co-wrote it with Downs and Trevor Horn, and obviously it was a big hit. It wasn't really a big hit for the Buggles, but Bruce Woolley actually did it on one of his solo records as well. Yeah, Bruce Woolley and the Camera Club. Boy, am I just being a teacher today.
I know.
Yeah, he knows everything, this man.
Musicologist.
But the version you do here, whose voice is synthesized and decoded on that?
It's no person's voice. It's just
No living being, is it?
my little brother's very good at computers. He got the computer to sing it for us.
Really?
Yeah.
No, just...
Yeah.
So you're teaching me something. I know nothing about
There you
computers,
go,
so I'll
yeah.
tell you about music, you tell me about computers.
Yeah, and then Andy and a couple of girls do backing vocals on that particular track.
And like I said, that wasn't really a big hit. That's what they call here in America a turntable hit, basically because of, what it was. It was the first video ever played on MTV when that unleashed on us. Just quickly thinking about MTV, and it just came to my mind now, as much as a tool that MTV is. And correct me if I'm wrong, I wasn't big of an MTV watcher in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. Were Erasure a big video band?
Never.
No.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Look at us,
Oh, come on. Did you just make videos for those songs, or that was just not...
Every single song that
Really?
we've ever released has got a video. Yeah.
Yeah. Just MTV, American...
No
just-
boobs, no guitars.
no big hair at the time, right, either. Now, Vincent, you recently sold or in the process of selling your home in England. I read this somewhere recently. And after I saw the pictures of, I guess, one particular segment of the house, all glass, I guess being here really makes you almost feel like home with all the glass around us. What's the story behind that? Because I think it was like some kind of newspaper over in England I saw this in, that you're selling your home or about to.
Well, I know I am selling my home. I mean, it's a place that I built about 8 years ago, and it's kind of unique 'cause it's in the shape of a snail.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a glass snail, and 8 years ago it seemed like a really, really good idea.
But as you get older, you realize that the glass snail is just... is it entirely glass? I mean, the roofs and everything is all glass?
It's glass and copper.
Really? Any drapes or blinds or anything?
Not really.
Nothing. It comes a point in a man's life where he doesn't really want people looking in on his daily duty. House, studio, everything there, or?
Well, there's a separate studio, and that's in the shape of a mosque. Of course.
Of course. So has the house been sold yet, or it's still up?
No, up for offers. So I know you earn a lot of money. So
yeah, what are you asking for this place?
I'm not saying on the radio.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to make
TV maybe, but not on the radio.
So it's been, and I'm guessing at least 5 years since you toured America, right? The last time you were here.
The last time we toured anywhere was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we did some. That was almost a world tour. We did Southeast Asia, South America, everywhere.
Yeah. And is there a tour in the plans for us here in the U.S. at some point this
we've
year?
got some dates in March.
Really? That
Yeah,
close?
we're
So
gonna
that's
play,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Kind of a big city, kind of speckling across the country.
Big cities, small venues.
Yeah. Oh, are we allowed to announce any of them right now, or we got to keep that on?
No.
No, I see Vincent shaking his head. No, we can't do that yet. All right, so obviously the listeners will have to keep listening, and we'll let them know as these dates are unveiled. How much of this album is going to be part of the live show?
5 songs.
5 songs. Which ones can we?
Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. True Love Ways. Can't Help Falling in Love. You've Lost That Loving Feeling. And
Solsbury Hill.
Solsbury Hill.
Oh, of course. You don't want to be one of those bands that puts out a single and doesn't do this single live.
Yeah.
So great, Erasure coming back on the road here in the U.S. and world tour as well. I would suppose, or are you going to hold it off for now?
Anywhere they'll have us, really.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Well, I'm thinking, and I'm sure I'm correct on this because it's pretty much a fact with a lot of the bands who are dance oriented and rhythmic oriented, that the world is just huge, and for many places a lot bigger than it is here in the U.S. I mean, Europe will take dance oriented records before America does for whatever reason that is. I mean, I think back to just a handful of years ago when U2 quote unquote experimented with their pop album, which is more of a guitar rhythmic kind of a record, and didn't fare quite well here in the U.S. Oh, it only sold 2.5 million copies, but overseas, it made it one of the most, at that time before the latest album, the biggest record the band had ever done, because the sound of that record is, accepted all over the world more than it is here in the U.S., where obviously radio, drives a lot with the sales of a record. Doesn't matter who you are and how big you are, unfortunately. So. Let's get to one more of the cover songs in today's session before we say goodbye. You covered 2 Buddy Holly songs. Every Day, which is a Buddy Holly staple, and an interesting choice, at least in my estimation. One that wasn't a big hit here, True Love Always. What's the story with this one?
True
And
Love
why?
Ways.
True Love Ways, I'm sorry, and why that one?
I don't know. It was kind of it was a toss-up between True Love Ways and there's another one about It Really Doesn't Matter Anymore. That one. But True Love Ways won.
And why pick that one? Because, like I said, an average Buddy Holly fan here doesn't even know that song.
I don't know. I just liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And so obviously that's one of your choices. Buddy Holly meant a lot to you?
Well, he was my dad's. He was one of my dad's idols. And he had a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Really good.
No doubt. And obviously a short-lived career.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with a tragic end to his life. How about a version of True Love Ways acoustically?
Sure. Just you know why you and I will by and by know true love ways. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love ways. Throughout the days, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love ways. Throughout the days, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry,
just you and I know true love ways. And we'll know why just you and I know true love ways.
Buddy is definitely looking down, smiling, giving you the thumbs up. And I saw you, I think you were looking up at him too. That sounded great. True Love Ways from Erasure, cover of the Buddy Holly song, done here at the Sirius National Broadcast Studios. And that's where Dad's record collection makes good. Taking care of that influence that he had with his collection on Andy. Do each of you listen to much music these days? Do you try to keep up what's going on out there?
It's impossible. I don't know.
Anything out there now that you're liking?
I like some of the DJ Gigolo stuff. Virtual Geisha or Japanese Telecom and The Streets and some Missy Elliott. Few little things.
Vincent?
I've not been buying records for ages, actually. But
Really?
I've been watching a few kind of folk artists in New York, in some small little venues, which has been quite exciting.
Anybody of recent that impressed by?
It all impresses me to see anybody play live,
Right, okay,
actually.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
amazed that, I can't play, so...
Are these unknown folks, or are you just going in and see?
Yeah, unknowns, just go in and take a chance. It's been very interesting.
Yeah. Has anybody recognized you?
No.
No.
I haven't got one free drink.
You're in the wrong clubs.
Yeah.
What about coming into New York and walking around the streets, maybe even walking in here today? Do you get recognized by the fans still?
Not really.
Really?
Only on the odd occasion. I mean, if you go to a gay bar, then yes.
Yeah.
But
Just when you start singing,
otherwise no. Yeah. It's quite astonishing when you do get recognised by somebody. Kind of takes you aback.
Yeah, and I guess obviously as the years have gone on, having that MTV exposure obviously aids in that happening. I mean, obviously they were during their day, Duran couldn't walk from door to door without being recognized, and and many of the pop teen idols today as it is with them. But I guess I was just quickly thinking of some other artists in the vein of your stuff who are as big as they are and big around the world, but never really had MTV exposure. A band like the Pet Shop Boys too. Yeah. Chris and Neil could probably walk around and nobody would even really know who they are as well.
It's the same in London, though.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, what about an album of Andy Bell, Vincent Clarke originals? Is a new Erasure album in the future?
Well, we're hoping to start writing in the summer this year. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I'm really looking forward to it. I think that we're going to probably glean some ideas from examining these cover songs. You pick up tips about songwriting and arrangement.
Going back to the beginnings of this record, whereas we mentioned that Andy mentioned was originally supposed to be was going to be an Andy Bell solo record. Did this record, other people's songs, did it rejuvenate you as artists in any way? Was there maybe obviously with Love Boat not being released here in the U.S., was there a little bit of a sense of doubt of should we go on?
I don't think there was any doubt. I think it's doubt was put into our minds by other people, but we didn't have any doubt. I mean, even if I'd have done a solo project, a solo album, I still would have been with Vince. It doesn't mean that Erasure's finished, but you do when you've had not very well selling albums, you do get really down in the dumps about it for a while. It takes about probably a year or a year and a half to get over it, because you kind of blame yourself and everything. But then being objective about it, I just think, well, it's good work. It doesn't matter, and just get on with it. Don't feel so sorry for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, those thoughts, should be taken by many of the bands and artists who have been around. And again, pointing to them, the Pet Shop Boys are a great example. With their last two records, didn't get any radio exposure over here outside of, what we do here at Satellite Radio. But yet they can come to New York City and, play a full show at Hammerstein Ballroom 2 nights in a row, which I'm sure you guys can do and eventually would. But it'll be interesting to see where you are going to play when you come to New York City. I'm not expecting it to be Fez or anything like that, but I'm sure the size of the room will definitely be a packed a packed venue and anywhere else you go on the tour. Well, I'd like to thank the two of you, Andy and Vincent, for joining us here today at Sirius. The album Other People's Songs on Mute Records is out now. A tour will be forthcoming. And as I said, a new album of originals on the way as well. Once again, thanks, guys. And for Sirius, I'm Jerry Rubino.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Hear this broadcast again tonight at 8 Eastern on Stream 100, Sirius Sessions. And listen every weekday for live uncut, uncompromised performances live at 5 Eastern. Sirius, it's on.